Welcome back to ESBR Boxing's YouTube channel. Delighted, as always, to be joined by Gregory Doyle. This is a video on how Oleksandr Usyk can beat Tyson Fury on May the 18th in Saudi Arabia. We are just a few days away now. We have done one of these videos on how Tyson Fury would beat Oleksandr Usyk. So now we're doing the same video in reverse, basically. Please do check that out if you haven't done so already, as long as the rest of the content on our channel. Greg, it's an interesting one. Let's be honest, we've recorded quite a lot of content on this fight now, whether it be for the fight that was supposed to happen back in February and the fight that is now happening in May. Nobody's ever beaten Tyson Fury. We've seen him on the deck a few times, haven't we, in his quite long career. And we've seen him, yeah, but one thing we've not seen is him lose, but we've never seen Oleksandr Usyk lose as well. It feels like there has been a shift in momentum of predictions in the last 3 or 4 weeks, I would say, with more and more people going for Usyk. And I'm not just talking about blokes in pubs. I'm talking about respected people in the industry. I think one that stood out to me recently was Fraser Clark, who was a tough question, but he on our channel he went with Usyk. I'll just ask you straight up, Greg. How does Oleksandr Usyk beat Tyson Fury? What do you think the game plan should be on May 18th for the Ukrainian?
Yeah, Elliot, it's a hard game plan. I'm standing here looking up at the wall thinking I've got a guy 6 inches bigger than me in front of me. What am I going to do? For me, I think Oleksandr Usyk, he needs to rely on his, I'm going to come out and say it now, and a lot of people won't agree, his superior boxing ability. A lot of people say Tyson Fury is a great fighter. He is a very good fighter, but Oleksandr Usyk has worked out every style, and there hasn't been a lot of styles that look as though they severely bother him. We've seen Tyson Fury down. We've seen him struggle with MMA fighters. We've seen him struggle with cruiserweights, struggle with heavyweights. So, yes, he's all, to give him the credit, he ticks all the boxes, Tyson Fury. But Oleksandr Usyk seems so much more comfortable in terms of whoever he fights. This is going to be the hardest fight of his career. There's no two doubts about it. I think for me, on the last video that we spoke about, yes, Tyson Fury is very quick on his feet when it comes to moving and jabbing, but that doesn't mean he's extremely quick at changing angles and changing your body shape. That's a big frame to move. Whereas I think that Oleksandr Usyk he's going to do that a lot easier than what Tyson Fury does. So for me, I think Oleksandr Usyk, he needs to feint his way in and keep Tyson Fury thinking. When he gets close, even throw the jab, but change the angle of your body and then throw again. Because Tyson Fury then needs to change his body shape to throw at the same time as Oleksandr Usyk. We've seen Tyson Fury struggle against Steve Cunningham. Oleksandr Usyk is a brainier, better boxer than Steve Cunningham. And, there was times where that fight was very even. Elliot, I know that Tyson Fury ended up stopping Steve Cunningham, but he really struggled with that. And I've noticed, see, if you look at a lot of the knockdowns in Tyson Fury's career, yes, you've got the ones to Wilder. A lot of them came to smaller men. And I think this is the best smaller man that he could ever fight. So I think Usyk needs to change the angles in close and just target hitting Fury. Don't be greedy. Don't think I'm going to hit him in the face, I'm going to hit him in the body. Just hit him. Even if it's the chest. A lot of people don't understand this here. Let's see if you're hitting the chest, that takes your wind away. You imagine doing that to a big man who's already got a big frame. Just change the angles and hit him. Keep it nice and simple.
It's really interesting, isn't it? Yeah, because I keep on going back to the point. It's weird when you've got two guys who have had so much 50 odd fights between the two of them, and neither of them have ever lost. And I think one difference is you mentioned there, we've seen Tyson Fury struggle against this guy, against that guy. It feels like, look, we've seen Usyk in certain situations, but I'm not sure there's been many of Usyk's fights where many people have been watching them live and thought, oh my God, Usyk's going to lose this one. Some people might differ, but there was, that is one difference between the two of them. One previous Usyk fight that I just wanted to touch on with you, Greg, was the one fight that really interested me. It wasn't the prettiest fight, but it was the Derek Chisora fight. Derek Chisora, I'm sure everyone watching this video knows what he's about. tough heavyweight, not the best record, but has been in with some fantastic fighters and has kind of done well against some of them. That fight, a lot of people had very close. Two of the judges gave Derek Chisora 5 rounds in that fight over 12. Why do you think Usyk against that fight didn't win it clearly, if that makes sense? Because if we're being honest, he won unanimously, but as I said, two of those scorecards were quite close. What was it about Derek
Yeah.
Chisora that night which meant Usyk didn't win by stoppage, didn't run away with all of the rounds?
I think if I think of a style the most, it would probably cause Usyk problems. It's almost like an overweight cruiserweight who you're not probably strong enough to hurt, and their game plan is just to keep coming forward
Mm,
at you, keep coming forward. Look at the difference when Usyk fought Anthony Joshua, a bigger man who has to think about the way they're going to throw their jab, what they're going to do if you get inside. Whereas Derek Chisora was on a level height with Usyk. He was just a bigger man. And apart from maybe like David Hay, very, very, very few people have hurt hurt Derek Chisora. And we're talking about big heavyweights. Um, I mean, you look at even the third fight, it was just a beatdown that Fury gave Chisora. It wasn't that he sprawled him all over the canvas.
yeah.
So what's a guy from cruiserweight coming up to the heavyweight division going to do? That
Mm,
was always just going to be a hard night's work because Derek Chisora is the type, he just keeps on coming. And, I think that's one of the best performances of his career, if not the best.
yeah.
But this is a completely different style. This is a bigger man who likes to think that he's a very advanced, clever, technical boxer. This isn't a bulldozer who looks as though they've just not bothered to make the weight at cruiserweight that Oleksandr Usyk is fighting. So I think that's probably why it caused him trouble. It was just a bigger man he wasn't going to hurt.
Yeah, look, it's interesting because we've seen Tyson Fury beat Derek Chisora 3 times over a period of what, 13, 14 years, something like that.
Yeah,
And we've seen Derek Chisora give Usyk a really good run for his money. And now we're seeing those two guys who have both beaten Derek Chisora in their own different ways now fighting each other. Yet a lot of people are going for Usyk to win this fight. We'll
yeah.
finish off, Greg. I'll ask you this question on the video we did about how Tyson Fury wins. Um, in a nutshell, how does Usyk win? And if you had to answer, does he win by stoppage or points?
Don't call me mad for saying an Usyk stoppage wouldn't surprise me. Again, like the last video, I'm going to favour towards Usyk. If he wins, it will have to be via points. But as I say, I just think it's so hard. It's so much harder, really, to hit someone smaller than you than it is to hit someone who's bigger than you. And I just think if he keeps targeting the chest area, I think is going to be so important in this fight because that takes the air away from you. A lot of people say the stomach. If you keep hitting someone in the chest, that slows you down. And I just think that if we look at Tyson Fury against Francis Ngannou, I expect Fury to be so much better. I expect nearly the best Tyson Fury in this fight. But it just would not surprise me if Usyk is just like a wasp, a bee in front of him all night, changing different angles and just really frustrates him. So for me, I would need to favour points, Elliot.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think I'd agree with you. We've seen Fury look vulnerable, but I think that's most likely. We will see.
Yeah.
We will see what happens. Just a few days away now, Greg. But yeah, really been interesting to discuss this with you. If you enjoyed this video, please do like and subscribe. And check out the rest of the content on our channel. Greg, thank you very much for your time, and I will speak to you again soon.